Hey guys, this is Andres Smirnov with the Fast Lane Truck, and with me,
It's Kent with MrTruck.com. I'm just so happy to be here.
I'll take you to lunch in a second. Okay,
I'm
just
getting
relax.
hungry. Okay.
You know, we receive a lot of questions from you guys at the Fast Lane Truck and MrTruck.com, and we compile them, then we go over them, we discuss them, and we pick some of the biggest and I think that resonate with us.
Yeah, more common questions
Yeah.
that people can relate to, and you may have those same questions.
Behind us is a interesting truck because one of the most common questions that we got over the last few months is, how come you guys don't test base work trucks?
Right.
And here's one behind us. This is a 2017 Ram 2500 heavy duty with a gas V8. This is a 6.4 Hemi, and it's under $37,000.
I know it because it does not have power mirrors or power windows.
Or power windows. We will be testing more work trucks. The first question comes from Christopher Laney, but basic question is for 50 grand.
Yeah.
That's his budget, which is a pretty big budget.
Yeah.
What is the best off-road rig, off-road truck?
Well, 50,000 would buy you a lot. That'd buy you the new ZR2.
Yes, it would.
So
It may not buy you a new Raptor, but a used
No,
one. He's
yes.
talking about a used Raptor
that's right,
as well.
and I think he's a fan of the 6.2.
Yeah,
And
he
they
likes
hold
the
their-
old V8.
Yeah, they hold their value pretty well. But is that what he's going to use it for? Is it for off-road, for playing? He does not tow, or does he tow, or?
Well, I don't know. You have his question.
I didn't want to read the whole thing. I thought you were supposed to read it to me. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing.
I can read it
find,
for you.
it's going to be hard to find a used Raptor. I mean, everybody wants those, so it's not going to be like you're going to get a really good deal on
Well,
it.
Roman still has our business truck, the 2014
Yeah.
Ford Raptor, and he's not selling it.
So finding one that hasn't had the crap tore out of it would be another thing, because that's really common on specialty vehicles. They use them, and so I don't know if that'd be my first choice, but you
And
know,
he's also asking about the Rebel. So, Christopher, Rebel is basically an off-road package on a light-duty Ram, as you know, and it's about an inch taller, but it's using air suspension.
right.
I've driven the Rebel and the Power Wagon off-road in Arizona around Overland Expo, which is a lot of fun. And whenever I compare the Rebel to the Power Wagon, the Rebel, I need to pick my line very carefully,
Yeah.
and the truck does it, and you know the systems work. And sometimes I scrape a side step or something else. In the Power Wagon, I'm more confident because it sits a little bit higher, and it just goes over. It has so much articulation
Right.
that just goes over the same obstacles that the Rebel was very gingerly on. The Power Wagon just,
Yeah.
goes over it.
Yeah, and I don't think he was actually even asking about the Power Wagon, but I'm with you. But if it came down to that kind of a budget, my goodness, I would jump all over that ZR2.
So ZR2, brand new one with
Yes,
a diesel,
yeah.
47 grand.
Get the warranty and see what they have. If they have any special finance deals, who knows? But that, to me, I think I would rather go that route.
Well, he also has a question, new versus used.
Yeah.
And we talk about all these questions in our book, Truck Nuts.
I've heard of that book. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a guide to pickup trucks. You can go to trucknutsbook.com.
Yes.
You can find links to purchase it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And this question comes from Caleb Chambers. And by the way, Caleb said that he purchased our book.
Hey,
So-
thanks.
So thank you, Caleb. That's really awesome. But Caleb wrote once again a very, very detailed question. There's several questions within it. So Caleb, we may not get to everything that you've asked, but currently he's got a 2009 F-150 with a 5.4 V8, and he's towing around 7,000 pounds. He's asking about the reputation of the Cummins diesel and sort of the reliability and the durability of the 2500. And it has to do with transmissions as well.
Yeah, I see that. The Cummins is rated as a medium-duty diesel at a 300,000 mile life. Duramax and Ford Powerstroke are both rated light duty at 250,000 miles.
Okay.
And that's by them, not by me or anybody else. So that's kind of how they looked at things. And the thing with it is, it's like all those diesels, they have little tiny things that need adjusted or fixed or replaced through the life of them to keep them running. If you don't do that, you get bigger expenses. And they all like that. But Cummins, if you know what those things are and go to the good diesel sites and figure that out, they can last you forever. And people that own them are very, very loyal to them. Going to transmissions, I mean, I like the Ison. It's owned, half of it's owned by Toyota, so and it's used in some bigger trucks too. The 68 RE, I think he was talking about the other one, our RFE.
RFE, yeah.
And that's 6-speed. It's really weird. Is the Dodge and Ram have not had the best reputation on automatic transmissions. They have improved them greatly. And like my project truck, we're improving it dramatically. So you can do things to it. If I was in a hot shotter or long hauler kind of thing, I would probably go with the Ison. I just like the drivability of the 68 RFE.
Yeah, so I think the core of Caleb's question here is not just different brands, but also diesel versus gas. In the Ram, you're paying $9,000 for the diesel. About, if you get it the Ison, it's another $2,000.
Yeah,
right?
so you got 11 wrapped up pretty quick.
So you're paying $11,000 for a diesel upgrade right off the bat if you're getting the Ison transmission.
So I think he has so many choices. Yeah, he can go diesel. He could go 3/4 ton gas and be fine. I mean,
I would go with a 3/4 ton gas.
Yeah.
Like this truck. Get a Hemi or get another Ford or a GM with a gas V8, a 3/4 ton. And I think you'll be happy. You'll have a heavier frame and more longevity in the truck, right?
Right.
But you'll also not be paying extra for the diesel.
Yeah, at 7,000 pounds. I mean, if he's pulling it a lot, yeah, go 3/4 ton. If he's pulling occasionally, a half ton will do it.
Next question comes from Tim Tufts. Nissan Titan XD diesel or Ford F-150 EcoBoost V6 gas truck? So this is, once again, gas versus diesel, but this is different classes of truck, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a trailer that weighs around 9,000 pounds, and he wants to hear from you, Mr. Truck, as far as how does towing with an XD differ from a half ton? How does that work?
Well, it doesn't have a full floating axle, so that's why it's stuck there in the middle between the two classes. So it's like a 1.5 class, I guess you'd call it. But it is a heavier truck, and it feels heavy. It feels solid. I mean, you have that going for it. It takes a little while to spool up the turbo, but if you learn to drive it, there's ways around all that. So you can make that thing purr pretty well. But and I like the idea of the diesel, and it actually, in a lot of the contests I've been with pulling trailers, it was usually with towing, of course it's diesel, it would win the towing miles per gallon. So I like that about it. But power, I mean, the EcoBoost it's
huge on power.
Yeah. I mean, the 2.7 always blows my mind, but the 3.5, especially if you're going to a 17 with a 10-speed, I mean, goodness gracious, you never feel it shift, and it's wonderful. I really like that EcoBoost, and here in Colorado with the twin turbos, it's hard to beat it. I know you got a turbo on the Titan, but if you don't know how to feather it in and get the boost up, it's a little awkward. But the good thing about the Titan is it is a heavy truck, and it pulls a trailer well.
But my experience with the Titan XD, it just feels solid.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's just heavy, and if you want that confidence for towing, the Titan XD is really good.
Yeah, if it had exhaust brake, I would love it.
Oh, don't get you started on that. Okay, next question, final question for this episode. So this question comes from Drew Gray. It's about Quadra Steer. So can you explain what that is? Four-wheel steering, and it's not being done anymore. And how come?
The Denali was born with Quadra Steer, and it had the bigger fender flares and a little extra lights because it was wide, kind of like a Raptor. And Delphi created it, and it would crab steer where it steers different directions at slow speeds, at high speeds, it steers the same direction.
Yeah.
So you're actually going down the road a little bit sideways. But it will take all the sway out of a trailer. I've never seen anything control trailer sway as well as Quadra Steer. I love the thing. And I had a website built around it, and their engineers would come on and answer questions. And it was great, and it was just terrible what happened to it. But they priced it out at like $5,000 right off the bat. If you were parked next to a bunch of vehicles, at slow speeds, it would only let you turn a slight amount in Quadra Steer. Mm-hmm. And then when you get on the road, it had all these things that were automatic, that were really well proven. And now you'll see some sports cars, you see some RVs that have it. And so, I mean, if you find a good, especially one of those HD 1500 crew cabs, that's one of my favorite trucks of all time, next to the Rusty Boy. So
yeah. were there reliability issues with Quadra Steer, or was it just pricing?
The pricing was the problem, and the engineers were on top of the little problems, little glitches like anything, and it really was a reliable vehicle. I mean, I've driven a lot, actually. I had one for a whole summer. We barrel raced with it, climbed Pikes Peak with the trailer, did all kinds of things with it. I loved it, and I was so sad when it all kind of blew up, and it was a conflict between GM and Delphi, and mostly they priced it wrong so that, you were selling a premium when you could buy a diesel dually for what a Quadra Steer cost. What the heck is that? Big problems. in management. It wasn't the Quadra Steer.
All right, Mr. Truck. Well, thank you for coming over for another exciting episode of Ask Mr. Truck. And please keep sending your questions to us. So you can do that at ask@tfltruck.com, or you could put your question directly under this video.
Yeah.
And we always read questions and comments. We try to keep up with what you guys are interested in. Thank you.
See you next time.